What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Seahawks Now. My name is Levi. Today, we're talking about a few major Seahawks issues. Number one, is Sam Darnold already on the hot seat? We discuss. Plus, the Bears reportedly interested in Kenneth Walker. We talk about if there's any possibility of a trade there. And we talk about if Elijah Arroyo is the highest upside rookie on the new-look Seattle Seahawks. All right, guys, let's jump into it. Sam Darnold reportedly could be already on the hot seat, according to one writer for thesportingnews.com. Is Sam Darnold already on thin ice with the Seahawks before taking his first snap in Seattle? Asks Mike Moratis. I want to give my take. First, I want to give his take. He says, after trading away Geno Smith in a somewhat surprising move, the Seahawks, of course, signed Sam Darnold to take his place, but the Seahawks may have already added his successor. The team drafted Alabama Jalen Milroe in the third round. Because of that selection, USA Today's Nate Davis now believes that Darnold is on thin ice ahead of his first season with the Seahawks. Even though he just signed that contract, this is the 13-year anniversary of Matt Flynn, who was signed to be the starter in free agency before spending a third-round pick on Russell Wilson, who ended up obviously taking over the quarterback one role, and Matt Flynn didn't start a single game in Seattle. Schneider just picked talented but flawed Jalen Milroe in round 3. It seems unlikely that Milroe will displace Darnold this season, but next year it could happen. The selection of Milroe is not a great sign for the long-term future of Darnold. It is too early to consider writing the veteran off, but he does admit he believes that Darnold is already potentially on some thin ice in Seattle. Here's my take. Number one, I don't believe that's accurate. Look, Matt Flynn and Sam Darnold, the fact that they are even being compared to me is asinine. I want to bring up Sam Darnold's stats and compare them to Matt Flynn's stats, and you're going to see what I mean here. Because Sam Darnold, for what it's worth, I understand he's been benched a couple of times. I understand he didn't have the greatest run with the Jets or with Carolina. So again, he struggled twice. Here's the pedigree. Sam Darnold is 27 years old. He'll be 28 when the season begins, and he was a first-round pick out of USC. Matt Flynn, at the time the Seahawks traded for him, he was also 27, but he was not a first-round pick. He was a seventh-round pick out of LSU, picked to the Green Bay Packers, 209th overall. Sam Darnold, he was actually picked third overall in the NFL draft to the New York Jets, so that's a big difference, right? Darnold, everybody thought was going to be a great player. Matt Flynn, nobody thought was going to be a great player. All right, by the time Darnold comes to the Seahawks, he's already played for 7 seasons in the NFL. Matt Flynn, he had only been in the NFL for 4 seasons. So Darnold, despite being only a year older, he has 3 more years of experience. Darnold has started 73 games in the NFL in his career. At the time that Matt Flynn was signed by the Seahawks, he had started 2 games. 2. Literally 73 for Darnold, 2 for Matt Flynn. There's a big difference. Darnold 35-38. Matt Flynn was 1-1. So you could say, well, that's a better record. Technically, yes, but Sam Darnold has a lot more experience winning in the NFL, and he's coming off of his career year when he went 14-3. Sam Darnold won Pro Bowl. Matt Flynn, of course, did not make the Pro Bowl before coming to Seattle or after. Sam Darnold has completed 1,443 passes. By the time he joined the Seahawks, Matt Flynn, he had completed a grand total of 192 passes. So again, a massive, massive difference there. Literally, Sam Darnold has completed 1,200 more passes than Matt Flynn had. Completion percentage, Sam Darnold 61.2%. Matt Flynn, when he came to Seattle, his completion percentage was 62.1%, so very comparable. Matt Flynn had thrown for a grand total of how many yards? 1,015. He threw for 1,015 yards across his 4 years as the backup quarterback in Green Bay. Sam Darnold has thrown for 16,383 yards. So again, Sam Darnold has thrown literally 15,000 more yards than Matt Flynn. Touchdowns. Sam Darnold has thrown 98 of them compared to 68 interceptions. Matt Flynn, at the time he came to Seattle, he had thrown 9 touchdowns compared to 5 interceptions. So a very similar ratio, slightly better Matt Flynn. But again, 98 touchdowns for Sam Darnold. Matt Flynn had thrown just 9 of them. Passer rating, Sam Darnold so far has a passer rating of 83.9. Matt Flynn, before coming to Seattle, he had a passer rating of 92.8. So that's the only thing that he had better than Sam Darnold was the passer rating. And finally, if you look at the peripherals, Matt Flynn had led one fourth quarter comeback, one game-winning drive. He had an approximate value of 3. Sam Darnold, he has led 6 fourth quarter comebacks, 10 game-winning drives, and has an approximate value of 42. He received MVP votes last year. He was a Pro Bowler. He received Comeback Player of the Year votes. There's no question. Sam Darnold has thrown for 15,000 more yards. He's won 34 more football games. He started 71 more football games. He was a first-round pick, 3rd overall, compared to Matt Flynn, who was a 7th-round pick. And Sam Darnold's getting paid real money. Yes, they both got signed to 3-year deals. Yes, they were both free agents. Yes, they both were promised a starting spot. And yes, there's a 3rd-round draft pick in both players' future. But that's the only similarities. Everything says Sam Darnold is a legitimate, bona fide NFL starting quarterback, and everything says Matt Flynn is not, right? He had literally started 2 games before coming to Seattle. There's a massive, massive difference there. So I don't think that it's fair to compare Sam Darnold and Matt Flynn. I just don't think it is. Sam Darnold is not on the hot seat the same way Matt Flynn was. He's going to be the starter day one. I can guarantee it. I would guarantee Jalen Milroe will not see the field in the month of September, probably not even in the month of October, probably not if things go well, hopefully not at all next year. All right, let's talk about K9, guys. The Bears reportedly checked in on Seattle running back Kenneth Walker. Now, this is pretty interesting to me, at least. They're eyeing him for a trade with the Seahawks. The Bears still looking to improve their run game. Last year, they had DeAndre Swift. He recorded 1,345 yards, 6 touchdowns, but they are still believing that they need a new running back. They're a little bit concerned about Swift. Swift's more of like a gadget back. He catches a lot of passes, but they need a guy who can just go, right? They need a heavy hitter. They think Kenneth Walker is that guy. Of course, K9 coming off of an injury-plagued season and in the last year of his contract. So there's a possibility that the Seahawks could just be like, yeah, we're not going to sign this guy. We're not going to extend him. Let's just trade him, get something back for him. The Seahawks are clearly open to trades, right? We've seen them trade DK, Geno Smith. Clearly they're open to trades. But ultimately, I don't think that this is going to happen. I think that the Seahawks are a team that believes their strength is their ability to ground and pound, to pound the run on the ground. And Kenneth Walker is the guy who needs to do that the most for them. Kenneth Walker is the driving force of that backfield. He's the guy that carries the brunt of the loads. I understand they do have Zach Charbonnet. They have a couple of other guys. Obviously, you look at, they just drafted a running back out of Miami in the 7th round, but who knows what he's going to be able to do this year. And they've got, Kenny McIntosh still around as well, but it's not necessarily a situation where the Seahawks could trade K9 and be okay. I think if you trade K9, all of a sudden you look at the running back room and you're like, a couple of 7th round picks and Zach Charbonnet, I'm not sure if I love this. And it honestly probably becomes a weakness, right? As much as we might like these backups, we like them because they're not starters. I think if Zach Charbonnet is your number 1, that's acceptable, but then who's your number 2, right? It becomes a massive question, and you need to have, what we've learned in the NFL is you need to have 2 good running backs. The Seahawks right now have 2. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to trade one of those 2 when you don't have a 3rd guy that's clearly waiting in the wings, and I just don't see that 3rd guy clearly waiting in the wings. Like, if McIntosh had showed anything, that would be one thing. Or, if we had drafted a guy higher than the 7th round this year, that would be worth a conversation. But the fact that we really only have 2 guys who I really believe in as running backs, that goes to show for me that we should not trade Kenneth Walker, and I don't think we will. I think Mike McDonald understands that. Clint Kubiak understands that. They want to have a solid run game. They need to be able to ground and pound on the run, and that's what K9 is there for. So I'm gonna call the Bears bluff. I don't think this is gonna happen. Last but not least, is Elijah Arroyo the Seahawks' highest upside rookie? One analyst believes so. Cameron Van Til, writing for SeattleSports.com, believes that Elijah Arroyo has been overshadowed, but that he's actually the Seahawks' most intriguing rookie of the draft. According to another Pro Football Focus lead NFL draft analyst, Trevor Sikkema, the 6'5", 250-pound Arroyo was the team's most intriguing pick. Sikkema heaped praise on Arroyo during an appearance on Monday on Seattle Sports Bump and Stacy. He says, I love the Elijah Arroyo selection for them in the second round. This is a player who is a fantastic wide receiver version of what you would want from a tight end. He's somebody who is one of the best receiving tight ends that we had in college football this past year. I think he is excellent for exactly what they want. And yeah, that's good to hear. He's a big receiving threat. He didn't play much in 22 or 23 when he had a knee injury. Last year, he ended up with 35 catches for 590 yards and 7 touchdowns. He led all FBS tight ends with 16.9 yards per catch. Impressive speed, impressive athleticism. I think he could honestly be a really good pass-catching tight end, and we haven't had that in a long time. I think we kind of hoped that Noah Fant was going to be that, but he really never turned into a great pass-catching option. He was more of a blocking guy. Will Dissly was decent as a pass catcher, but really the last great pass-catching tight end that we've had was probably Jimmy Graham. And I think Elijah Arroyo can hopefully get to that level. I'd love to see it because we do need more pass catching. Obviously, no more Tyler Lockett, no more DK Metcalf. We need a big guy out there who can just go over the top and make plays. And I think that's what the Seahawks love out of Elijah Arroyo. With that all being said, guys, let me know down in the comments, who do you think is the highest upside rookie? I'm not sure if it's Arroyo or not. Personally, I actually do think it's Nick Emenwari. I think he's the highest upside rookie just based off of his raw athleticism, his raw potential. But like I said, let me know down below in the comments. And as always, guys, until next time, like, subscribe, comment, and until tomorrow, go Seahawks.